What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hammerdown Motorsports. Today, we've taken some perfectly good money. Well, not today, but the other day. I was over at the dealership. I took my Can-Am in. If you guys have been following my story on Instagram, I took my Can-Am Commander in. Not my Can-Am Commander, my Can-Am Outlander. We took that one in for its first service. We got everything good to go on that so we can get ready for trails. All the shakedown from being brand new is all done. And I got a little sidetracked in the dealership. Tends to happen. They have a whole showroom there. So you're going in to get your machine serviced and you're looking at other stuff because if you have one, you might as well have more, right? That's kind of the whole motorsports addiction. But I was looking at some stuff they had in there and I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money. Actually, I didn't want to spend really any money, but I've always had my eye out on those little scooters, little mini motos, little like Groms and all the small motorcycles. They did have some, the cheaper, around $1,600, $1,700, some of them ranging around $2,000. Cheap, easy, just fun entertainment to get out on two wheels and just have some fun with, because that's what it's all about. If you can't afford a big motorcycle, or a big motorcycle is just really not your thing, and you just want something that's easy to control, and you just want to have a little bit of fun out there in the wind, you could do that for a little bit of money. So I did a little research when I got home, because I kind of had the itch. I was like, are these motorcycles any good? And they're I'm not going to say the brand, but whatever. There were just some cheap ones they had there. And I thought to myself, I'm like, well, like 2,000, it was like a little over $2,000 out the door, like 2,200 for I think it was like a 125cc scooter where you put your feet in front of you. And it's not really, I'm more of a motorcycle person myself. And the Grom kind of was there, but the price point was too high. I felt, you're over $4,000 out the door. It's kind of, that's real, if used market, that's real motorcycle money all day long. So I always shied away from that one, but I started doing some research. And I saw there was a new bike that Honda came out with last year in 2022, was called the Navi. Now, the Navi is like something they made for the Indian market, and it was basically a scooter, but looks like a motorcycle. So I got online, I went and checked some things out, and my local dealership, my local Honda dealership had one, and the price was about the same price as the Chinese one. It was like $200 more out the door. So to get a Honda, I mean, yeah, I know it's made in Mexico, but it's still Honda, and it's kind of a motorcycle, but it's kind of a scooter, and it's really under $2,500 out the door. I thought I had to go check it out, and well, we brought one home. Oh yes, definitely no regrets at all. And I was going to get my first impressions and riding and all that kind of stuff, but I was too excited. I got on the bike and I started riding, and this thing is such a blast. I mean, if you guys, I haven't really done much for motorcycle stuff on my channel, but I do have over there a 1600 V twin supercharged Yamaha motorcycle, and it's a big bike. I mean, it's pretty much like a Yamaha Fat Boy kind of deal. And this is just a little bit, this is more like beach. This is more just kind of, I want to get on something quick and just go have a little bit of a scoot around the back roads. And you're not going to get, well, I mean, I don't want to say you're not going to get in any trouble, but you're really, it's so little power. It's not something that's intimidating. Like that bike over there is a monster. It's an absolute beast. It's heavy. This is light. This is just something you can go out and whip around the back roads, and that's exactly what I wanted. I always worried about something not being as nimble. If some idiot were to cross the line or whatever, you could get out of the way with something like this. If you had to, you could probably ride a little bit of dirt with this thing if you had to. I mean, just to kind of get out of the way, because it is so light, it's so easy to handle. It's just something that I really thought would be a good fit for me, and I don't need a big bike. I just wanted something that was fun to ride, and I want to get out on two wheels, feel just, at the beach. It's just, you're going to go out and ride across the bridge with the ocean out right in view. And it's just like a magical experience that I think that it's going to be a good fit for me and the Navi. And now, obviously, I watched a bunch of videos on this before I bought it. I had people saying that it was painfully slow and all of that. And for me, so I went into this bike thinking, if it could pull my weight up a hill, I'm going to be happy for the MSRP of $1,800. Obviously, it's a little under 25 because I had to do all the Pennsylvania taxes and the whole thing. But out the door was 24 and change. So that's actually pretty good. But I did not have any expectations going into this bike other than that I was going to be on 2 wheels and I was going to be able to ride on the road, because obviously mini bikes have been a good time. I have done some videos in the past. I do have the Coleman 196. It's just a fun little bike. It's the whatever, the ones with the front suspension, and I found I don't ride that as much just because it's not something I could take on the road. And this is 110cc. I could take it on the road. It's got signal lights, it's got a horn, it's got a headlight, it's got all the things. You can literally put a passenger on the back if you wanted to. So I've already ridden this. I put 23 miles on this in the first few hours I had it. Absolutely love it. It has like under a gallon fuel tank. It's supposed to do like 110 miles per gallon, which I guess we'll see if it actually does that. But it's been a blast so far. So yeah. We're gonna do a little bit of moto vlogging around here. I have never done that before, so I have to find all my stuff. I have to find my little GoPro adapter and whatever so I can do the sound. But today, I'm gonna go look for that. Hopefully we can get that in the video. If not, we're just gonna do some cruising and just kind of give you some idea of what it's like to be on this little motorcycle, even as a full-size person like myself. So now that you heard the backstory on buying this little bike, I mean, just look at it. It looks like a little kind of like a real motorcycle. I mean, it's got tiny little wheels on it. It has a little thing here for the gas, and you've got a little compartment there if you want to put, I guess you could probably put your registration there if you wanted to. Also here on the side, we got a nice big trunk. So you can put a jacket in there. You can put, you know, whatever you want to buy, a small bit of groceries. You're good to go. Got a little place to put that. You're not putting your feet in front of you like a scooter, which is not, I guess, manly enough for most people. It's a CVT, a little belt drive in the back, so it's like a scooter, super easy to maintain, and it's carbureted. It doesn't even have fuel injection. So, I mean, honestly, if anything electronic went wrong, you would be fine, because there really isn't any electronics on this at all. It's cable-driven speedometer, and I think even everything else runs on magneto as far as your lights and all that kind of stuff. So even if you have no battery, you do have a Kickstarter. So, I mean, how do you get more simple than this? This is super good on fuel. It's super quiet. It's fun to ride. Even if you're a bigger person, you could still get up to speed on this. And if you want to go a little bit more into getting this thing tuned up, there's plenty of aftermarket available. You can get exhaust. You can get different weights and stuff for the clutches, and you can get different clutches. You can just make this thing a little bit more responsive, but it's just kind of made to do its thing. It's made for fuel economy. It's made for transportation, and I don't think it gets much cheaper than this in 2023. All right, so I got you guys on the side of the helmet right now. We're gonna play around with the view here a little bit, just kind of see how that's all gonna work. I might move it, I don't know. This helmet, it's my old one, it'll work. We're gonna do this, and then I ordered the thing for the microphone. So unfortunately not gonna have that today, but we're gonna try this out and just see how it all works out and go for first ride on the Navi. And yeah, I'm just gonna maybe talk about this bike in the background, because I mean, obviously the audio is gonna suck, or we're gonna play some music or whatever, but we're gonna go for a ride either way. Running smooth, we're good to go. just so you know, if you put the kickstand down, it will kill the bike and it won't start with the kickstand down. So if it shuts off when you do that, now you know. So it is a bit of a windy day, and obviously I need to get my mic stuff ready, and we can do some moto vlogging on the little Navi. I can't wait. Never thought I would ever do that, but this thing's a blast. I mean, you guys saw, going for a little rip, and it gets you where you need to go. For my height, my weight, we're like 30 miles an hour up a pretty steep grade. Well, there go my gloves. Probably my audio as well. But anyways, I think it's a fun little bike for the money. You really can't go wrong. If you want to get out on two wheels, you don't want to commit to a big motorcycle and all that, get one of these. They're 100% worth it. And off we go. Both ways. Well, there it is, everybody. The new addition to the fleet of vehicles here over at Hammerdown Motorsports. And honestly, for the money, you can't go wrong. I mean, look at this. I already have 40 miles on this thing, and I've only really ridden it for 2 days. And, well, the first day I only had it for a couple hours before it was dark. And today we went for a few rides, and it's just been awesome. I mean, not everything in life, I mean, so happiness isn't necessarily free, but it sometimes doesn't have to be super expensive. And I think joy per price on a vehicle like this, I mean, you can't go wrong with this thing. 1,800 MSRP, under 2,500 out the door, and you can just get on two wheels and have fun for very cheap. That is the whole thing about this. And if you're like me, you know, you're not a small person, and you can actually get up hills with this thing. I mean, not quickly. You're not going to go quickly. 20, like my slowest speed up a pretty steep hill was like 28, but it's manageable. I mean, old people drive that slow, so it's not really that bad. And you're not really going to get any speeding tickets with this thing, but it is manageable. That's just the way I can put it. I mean, I don't feel like this thing is embarrassingly slow, but I don't feel like it's crazy fast, but it's definitely enjoyable. And for the size of wheels that you have on this thing, it goes as fast as you'd want to go on something like this. So there it is, everybody, our little ride on our little bike in this big world we call Pennsylvania, and just ripping through the back roads. You can't go wrong with a little bike like this. If you're in the city or whatever, you just want something to commute around with, or you just want to get out on two wheels. For the money, I mean, this costs as much as like a half-decent big screen TV. Maybe not even that good a one, but yeah, probably a good one. And riding it around, I mean, you don't really feel like you're missing something. You're just out there enjoying the surroundings that you have and just getting out on two wheels. I just absolutely love riding motorcycles, and for the money, I can't go wrong with this thing. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and as always, keep that hammer down. Or I guess we don't really have a hammer on this, but we got a throttle. Keep it to the pin. I don't know.